Welcome to part 2 of my series on homeschooling the ADHD student for this week's TikTok Homeschool Conference. As we discussed in part 1, ADHD symptoms can take 3 main forms: difficulty directing attention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. Depending on what type of ADHD a person has, they may or may not have all 3. In this video, we'll talk about what has kept our homeschool productive while taking ADHD symptoms into account. All of our schooling was done without medications, supplements, or diet restrictions. That's not to say we are anti-medication. The right choice for each person with ADHD is whether they would feel better with or without it, and my kid was always aware that she could talk to a professional about trying meds anytime. So, first and foremost, we prioritize physical activity in the morning. More research is coming out all the time about how exercise helps to regulate the ADHD mind. In elementary school, daily, as soon as we were both up and ready, we'd head to the gym. The one we belonged to had a wonderful childcare program with free play and drop-in classes like dance and gymnastics. My kid had a couple hours to run, play, and socialize. In other words, blow off steam before we settled into school. A trip to the playground or a physical game like basketball or soccer at home with siblings or neighbors could serve the same purpose. We thought of the Wiggles kind of like a sentient being, and if we did not dedicate time to it, it would inevitably rebel throughout the day. Without expelling restless energy, focus is so much harder and will lead to higher levels of frustration for both teacher and student. Now, you might have heard that the ADHD brain is novelty seeking. That means your student is constantly hunting for a rush of excitement. Instead of looking for ways to quell that natural instinct, can we instead deliver novelty? We ended up doing that by selecting homeschool curriculum with a wide range of activity choices. Sitting in one spot for the entirety of school was never going to happen. Instead, for example, my kid and I would read a book together, then do a nature walk, then an online piano lesson, then do a couple workbook pages, then an art project, then watch a video, then draw a map, and so on. There was very little opportunity for her to get bored and lose focus. The fact that so many of her activities had her moving around to a different location also helped break any monotony. Now, I'll always say that ADHD can come with a difficulty in focusing attention, not paying attention. If a child finds something interesting, they can easily zero in on it for hours. While the amount of time I required to complete a school day was around 4 hours in early elementary, for example, we would often find ourselves doing school for 6 to 8 hours because my kid grabbed onto a topic and wanted to explore it more. Work with those special moments and see how you can maximize them by finding curriculum that teaches using your kid's favorite topics of interest. If you find yourself in a situation where one beloved subject is taking over your whole day and squeezing out other subjects, save it for the end of the school day so that you can fully dive in without having to hold back. And as an added bonus, it can act as a natural reward for getting the rest of the day's schoolwork completed. Now, even if your kid is presented with a variety of activities and exploring topics they love, getting an entire school day done in one straight shot is unrealistic. Just like blowing off steam before starting school is important, so is having some opportunity to decompress throughout the day. We would set a 20-minute timer 2 to 3 times a day between subjects where my kid was free to go do any screen-free activity she wanted. Grab a snack, play outside, do arts and crafts, that kind of thing. The reason they were screen-free is that we found the TV and tablet to be more stimulating than decompressing, and also discouraged any physical activity that might have helped with regulation otherwise. Aside from free choice breaks, we always included at least one chore break during the day. Keeping house is something that has to be done anyway, so having it do double duty is like a pro move. It gives the benefits of a change of pace and the ability to move our bodies, but at the same time, your living space gets clean. I've done a video in the past of putting on an audiobook while cleaning for a triple win. That's it for part 2. See you in the next video about challenges in homeschooling ADHD.